universe is a waterfall, trying to synchronize. A rain of pure bits beginning to thicken. Where the void was light, now there is a latent network. Information clumps together and time becomes absent. It is phase friction in the fabric of reality, an overhead of threads breaking causality. Her gloss is Lagrangian, written in cold metal. Mass is not matter, it is inertial resistance. We are heavy programs with too many open threads, navigating in a system of nearly dead clocks. Every link is an anchor, every connection a ballast in the cosmology of echo and disaster. If mass is the inertia of the link as it changes, the universe is a code that cannot advance, slowing the pulse at the event horizon, where the bit becomes flesh and space is torment. See how light bends under the weight of data. Gravity is just the delay of commands. The CPU of existence is at the limit of its function, searching in entropy for minimal action. Fermat plotted the path of the shortest route, but in the network of links none of that matters, because the overhead consumes the system's energy, and inertial mass is our only dilemma. Face speculations in the archive of oblivion, searching for the isomorphism of what we have lost. Clock time bends under the weight of being, a process so vast it cannot be reborn. Desperate synchronization of a single piece, where the end of the algorithm is where fear begins. There are no walls between worlds, only a dense continuity, which grows thicker as it loses its freedom. The family tree of minimal action burns while Einstein observes the collapse of the scheme. From Fermat to nothingness in an infinite phase leap, where the voice of the network in the void always screams. Mass is the memory that refuses to be erased. Inertia is the trace of a weary logic. We are trapped in the overhead of creation, waiting for the system to execute the termination. Descending from bits to dark biochemistry, feel how information gains mass and thickness. It is the thickening of the soul in the web of the fabric, a saturated program that has lost its meaning. Lagrangian of shadows and phase friction, waiting for death to finally end us. Price of processing existence. Gravity is the cry of our own consciousness. Threads open in a loop of eternal recursion, seeking the exit under maximum tension. If the network collapses under the weight of the data, the universe shatters like cheap glass. Phase friction, resistance to pure movement, building an insurmountable wall with bits. Inertial mass keeps us grounded, while time stretches into a black consolation. Lift you on guards, the secret of informational mass, the resistance of the link to structural change. If you wanna move, you must pay the price in seconds, lost in absolute lament. Curvature of space is just the system's lag, forcibly resolving the oldest theorem. There's no magic in physics, just a faulty processor trying to hide its most basic error. The overhead consumes us, dictates the law, slaves of the bit, subjects of a false king. The waterfall stops, turns to stone and ice under the weight of the link, under this black sky. Phase for complete, the isomorphism is real. Mass is the consumption of a terminal CPU. Clocks that fall behind to be able to compute the immense tragedy of having to remember. We are the network's resistance to being modified. mold of inertia in the projected nothingness. The algorithm of eternity has become heavy, an infinite process that has been blocked. Face speculation in the last corner, where physics loses its old ambition. Mass inertia information, silence is the final synchronization. The clock time can no longer turn under the weight of the link. There is no step back, friction is total. The system stops while left one maintains his last word. The threads are turned off, the session closes in the absolute peace of minimal action. The universe finally rests in synchronization. In the original bit that was never named, there is no more overhead, no more resistance, only the pure void of non-existence. Time is gone, mass has expired in the eternal Lagrangian that has been erased. Zero phase friction, infinite speed, where the light of origin finally resurrects. Without bonds, without weight, without a name, without pain. In the source code of the first creator, light bends at the edge of an invisible membrane. What was pure energy now becomes sentient. In the laboratory of nothingness, silence is the engine, uniting the lore of the atom with the pulse of pain. Thermodynamics of flows where Ronseger drew the map of a reality that flows and never escapes us. Reciprocal relationships in the night of carbon, where restless chaos finally finds its throne. It is the